All right, Mustang fans and surrounding areas, welcome to Monday Mustang Podcast 2025. This is the day and afternoon, evening, where we talk Ingleside Mustang Sports Athletic Program. And we had four um, podcast schedule. First one was with our head coach for the Ingleside Lady Mustang soccer coach. Lynch was unavailable at the last minute to come on, so we're going to try to reschedule him sometime this week to get him in to talk about the season and kind of put a period to the season here for our Lady Mustangs. And then, of course, we're going to talk Ingleside Mustangs, the boys soccer with our head coach, Lewis Williams. And then we're also going to have our softball with Coach Lewis. And then we'll finish out the night with Coach Sanchez, our baseball. So it's going to be like one after another after another. So we're going to try not to cut the stream down. So it'll be like 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes. So about an hour and a half that we'll be on. At least that's the way I have it planned. And so right now on the screen, I have the head coach here for the Ingleside Mustangs, our soccer program. That's Coach Williams. Coach, how you doing?
How you doing, big time? Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. And I'm glad you were able to come on today because we wanted to put what I call a period to the season. Obviously, the season ended not the way that we wanted it to end, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to come out and talk about the season and the seniors. Obviously, want to get your thoughts on the seniors because they will not be back next year. We're hoping to do this again next year and the years to follow. So that's the plan now. I'll have a little bit more. I'll be better prepared next year when soccer season comes around to be able to live stream more of the games. But I really enjoyed the podcast, getting to know the boys, getting to know you, Coach, and getting to know this program. And so, even though we didn't make the playoffs, I still think that with the way things started out, we're heading in the right direction. A lot of those players will be back next year, so definitely looking forward to next year's season. But to talk about this season, before we get into the seniors and get your thoughts on the season, I did want to recap two of the final games that we had here. So as we're going into the Beeville game, you heard me talk about if the season would have ended a couple of weeks ago, we would have been in the playoffs. We had to beat Beeville. We had to beat Bishop. We had played Beeville once and beat them, I think, in PKs. And so we knew that this was going to be a tough game here at home against Beeville. We were not able to get the job done there. They take the win 4-1. Coach, talk to us a little bit about that game, kind of recap it. What did you see in that game from the Mustangs?
We went in that match with a very solid game plan and a very clear understanding as to how they played. In my opinion, we man for man should have pulled that one out. We went up 1-0, had the lead and looked extremely promising for us. Like we held it all the way up until the end of the second half, or actually the end of the first half, and then they tied it going into halftime. And I was like, look, man, just kind of stick to your guns, continue to do what we're doing and how we planned out. And then I started talking about some specifics on how we needed to attack in personnel and got to the second half. And once again, it's soccer is such a different game because it's different than football. It's different than basketball, even baseball, where you can call the ref and say, hey, I need a timeout. You know what I mean? Basketball, you got, I think, what, 8 a game or 6 a game or something. Football, you have something similar. And then baseball, all you got to do is call the lead up and say, hey, I need to talk to my pitcher. Or I need to talk, timeout, Soccer, once that clock starts, there's no stopping it. And the only way you can really relay information or communicate with your kids is if you sub them out, and in some situations when you have kids in specific spots or kids that were kind of like centered around your game plan, when you take them out of the match, sometimes that can lead to in soccer atrocities, right? Like breakaways, corner kicks, set pieces and at the worst goals. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, down the stretch, I had to sub out one of my guys in the first half and ended up giving up and conceding a goal, and it was 1-1. And then in the second half, I feel that I was, in my mind, I felt very calm about the situation because we had already been that way the first time we played them, right? It was a tight game. It ended 3-3. So I was like, it's 1-1 right now. We're in the same plane we were last time. We just need to be able to finish because we had multiple shots on goal and just didn't finish. And then when we got to the second half, you could tell that cooler heads did not prevail, and we kind of got away from how we were supposed to attack and how the personnel where they were supposed to be placed on the field, and that led to a lead goal to make it 2-1. And then later on the match, I think there was like 15 minutes left. They ended up taking the two goal lead, and that's when you're down 3-1 with about 16 minutes left. That's when guys start worrying and start countering differently, and then they were able to bang in that last one with like 6 minutes left to beat us. But that was particularly frustrating game because, in my opinion, their coach is one of my best friends. He's a great coach, great motivator, great schematic guy, and they've been a very, very talented team. They ended up winning the 2 seed in our district behind London, and they actually gave London the best game of the entire season and lost a 5-3 on the last game. So I was very frustrated about that. But what I'm saying, it is what it is. You live and you learn, and we still had a chance there down the stretch, but uh things didn't go our way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, considering, and I knew that it was going to be a very close game because I looked at the first time and we had pulled out the win on PK. So we knew what that team was going to come in. It was a close one the first go around. So I said, man, this is going to be good. We are at home. Maybe that'll give us an advantage. And like you said, we started out great 1-0. I do know when they tied it, I did turn around and see you specifically and know you were really fired up. You were upset at the talking to the players. I could see the fire. And then I had to turn around and call, we were calling the softball game. I turned around. Next thing I know, we're down. But again, it didn't happen for us this year. I do think, Coach, that we did some good things though, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get your thoughts on the season. I do also want to recap the final game. So going back to Beagle, with that loss, it took us completely out of the playoffs. Win or loss to Bishop, I believe we needed to win that. We didn't.
Yes, sir.
But we came out and played our final game against Bishop and got the win 6-3. It's a great way to finish out the season. You got some stats on that game, Jonathan, Mr. Fantastic. 2 goals, 1 assist, 8 steals. Archie Thor, 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 steals. Preston Messi, low key, 1 goal. Egan Carnage, I believe that's correct, Coach.
Yes, sir.
1 goal. Jaden Rocket, 1 goal, 7 steals. Nick Spider-Man, 2 assists, 2 steals. Wyatt Falcon, 1 assist, 6 steals. Lewis the Wolverine, 10 steals. And Rowdy Venom, 8 steals. And so what was really interesting is, so they had nicknames. Coach had some nicknames for them. So as we continued to do the podcast, we started to call them out by their nicknames. I think that was great, Coach. I thought that said a lot about the kind of chemistry between the coaches and the players. They seemed to have liked it. And it was great. It was great for me to be able to announce them and kind of joke around a little bit with their nicknames. And so I really enjoyed that. But this game against Bishop, we do end the season on a win. I think that's a good note, 6-3. Talk a little bit about this game and what you saw from your team.
And it's funny because, like, what I'm saying, like, when you look at the statistically, you win a game, by 3 goals in soccer. What I'm saying, that's a great win. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest, you in soccer, a lot of finals end 1-0. You know what I mean? 1-0. So you win 6-3, and you're like, man, that's a great. But I wasn't particularly famous about that match. We Thor ended up scoring in like the first like 45 seconds of the game. it was like we got the ball first, played to the mid, played to the left, left crossed in, and Thor ran up and scored it. And I was like, man, this is going to be another situation like how we had versus Kingsville. You know what I mean? When we scored, we scored 12 goals.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, Gabriel, after that, it was like we scored that one goal and everybody just kind of put their feet on the, on the footrest. You know what I mean? Like we're winning 1-0 and 45 seconds in, and everybody's like, well, it was a good season. You know what I mean? Like it was, I started subbing guys out after like the first like 6 minutes because it was like, nobody's really, we're not out there just like me. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just a different breed. But if I'm playing a competition and it's my last, go round, I'm about to, I'm about to go. You know what I mean? Like I'm going full speed. It's my last competition of the year, but for some reason we just couldn't, once again, I think it could have been the fact that we weren't, in the playoff push anymore, and we already had a lead, and it was just kind of like the atmosphere was very quiet, very windy. The field conditions weren't the best, so it was kind of like we were just like, we'll just get out of here, get out of Dodge type deal. You know what I mean? Missing goals that we normally make, and you know kind of like passing up opportunities to do other things. Towards the end there, when we were winning by the 4 goal deficit, it was like 6-2, I think. We were trying to get Mr. Iron Man, we were trying to get Iron Man a goal. So like that last like 15 minutes, I don't think a single person shot besides him. You know what I mean? Like every time we get the ball, we try to pass it to him in the box, which I was all for that. The last 15 minutes of the match, you're winning by 3-4 goals, let's get this guy a goal type deal. But that 65 minutes leading to that, it was real like lackadaisical, just kind of like, let's get out of Dodge, let's get this win and let's go home. You know what I mean? So I told them I told them at halftime and after the game that I wasn't particularly happy with the fashion we played. I was happy that we ended on a good note. I was happy that we got a couple extra guys, a couple more assists and goals. I was happy that we still gave effort and energy, but I felt that we didn't play to our desired energy level. You know what I mean? So overall, we ended on a high note. We ended with a win. We lose those seniors, those 3 guys, next year. We return. I think I did the math today. We return 16 players, 16 guys with varsity experience, and we're gonna be getting right now. It just depends on how tryouts go. But right now, it should be 15 or 16 returners that were on varsity, and then a possible 4 to 5 guys coming up from JV. And then we got to see what this freshman class looks like. The last like 4 years, we've had at least one freshman on varsity every year. It may change, but that's we always like to look at everybody equally. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see. I'm glad that we got a lot of guys experience this year because they really, it really helped develop a lot of guys. You know what I mean? We ended with 10 goal scoring players and 12 assist categorizing players. So that was, whenever you got a 18-man roster and 12 of your guys have scored an assist and 10 of them have scored, the ball's really moving around pretty well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, coach. I mean, I'm sad that we didn't make it because throughout pretty much the whole season, especially the middle to the back end, we were right there. We
Yep.
were in the spot at that season ended right then and there. We're in the playoffs, so we were
Yep.
right there the whole time up until the very end. Which is heartbreaking, and I can definitely understand the boys. Once you fight hard all season, you go through that adversity where you start off it's rough, but when we get healthy, we can make a run. That's exactly what happened. And then you don't come out against Beeville and play your best game when you've beaten them before, and you take that loss. I know going into that final game, you're playing that you're gonna win, possibly, but you're not playing for the playoff spot. Can take a little bit out of it. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand what you're talking about. But I think at the end of the day, when I sit back and I look, and we've had about a week or two now from that final game where we had the bye week, obviously, so that right after that Bishop, our season ended. But
Yep.
I think with three seniors, obviously they're going to be missed. But what you have coming back with that varsity experience really, I think should excite the Mustang fans and the soccer fans that go out there, the parents who have the kids, because they're going to be very competitive next year. Obviously, with some of the players coming back, because we were in the thick of things. We were in the race. We were never out of the race from the
Yep.
beginning. We fought our way back to be able to bring double-digit players back
Yep.
next year. That's exciting. So we'll definitely be back next year to cover. Like I said, next season we'll be a little bit better prepared for the streaming and the podcast because we've done it this year. So I'm definitely looking forward to next year and be able to compete again and get in that playoff picture. Let's talk a little bit about the season overall. I'd like to get your thoughts, Coach, on just what you saw. I know I talked about the start rough, the injuries, the illnesses, but then the boys fought back in the middle, put themselves pretty much in a position to make the playoffs, and it looked like that was going to be. And then you take the loss
Cal
to
Allen.
yeah. And I think the SGA too, because that was 1-0 too. There were some games.
See, and that's that, and like you were talking about, like there's so many like small. So like SGA, we always talk about this. Like whenever you're planning the season, like hypothetical situation, Hidalgo, right? Hidalgo is a state championship for 2 years ago, right? If we play a team like Hidalgo and we lose, you're not really you're losing, but you're what we call it. You're playing with house money, right? That's a game that nobody sees you winning, just because of their where they lay in the soccer world. But if you give them a close game or a hard game, or B, you win, you've loaded up now. Like so like when you lose like an SGA game, SGA at the time when we played them were only a half game back from London, right? And beat us like 5-1 the first time, and we're in the 2 seed at that moment in time. So like we're looking at that game. That's a house money game. We don't need to win that game, but if you do, that puts you, your confidence is up. You rise up 3 points that nobody expects you to get. So when you lost that game, it was like, meh, it sucks, but we can't really just like be too upset because we're still in the, like you're saying, we're still in the mix. Get to Cal Allen, and it was like, this is the game plan, let's do it. When we lost to Cal Allen, that was kind of the backbreaker right there, because we should have beaten them, right? 1-1 at halftime. And they're, every single thing that they did was on our mistakes. They capitalized. We did not capitalize on their mistakes. You know what I mean? They made chingos of mistakes, and we could not capitalize. We made, I think, geez, 6 mistakes, right? The whole game, and they scored 4 goals. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it was one of those things. I think I ended up looking at the board, like we have like a little stat board. I think in the Cal Allen match we shot 17 times and they shot like 5, and they won 4-1. Same with SGA. They beat us 1-0. We shot 15 times. They shot 3 times. And then we played Beeville, you know what I mean? And it's not the same. Beeville has a much more sharpened striker. So they shot more, pero how many on target? They only shot like 6 on target, and 4 of them went in, you know what I mean? While we on the other hand shot like 11 on target, you know what I mean? So it was just it's just one of those things, like you look at it and you're like, shoot, if we could have turned around just 2 of those matches, we're in the playoffs right now.
We're
You
in
know
the
what I
playoffs
mean?
right now. Yeah, I
Playing
was.
against playing against Hidalgo. You know what I mean? Forget that. Listen to this. You ready for this? This is the thing that's even worse. If we just turn one of those matches into a win, SGA, if we win SGA 2-1 or 1-0, and then we don't let TM score that last goal in the last 30 seconds, we're in the playoffs because we owned a tiebreaker with them. So it's like
I
two
know.
things, two
I was
things, two small things. So
I was seeing that and I was like, wow, we'd have done this, we'd have done that. And that's how close. This is because soccer is a little different than the other sports.
Yep.
But again, when I look at this thing, I mean, like I said, with the players we got coming back, this year's disappointing, especially for the seniors because they don't get to go into the postseason. They don't
Yes.
have another shot.
Yep.
But I think for the players that are coming back, this was a good. I mean, they learned a lesson, right?
Yep.
One is
Yep.
that if when we have injuries, we know we can bounce back because they did that.
Yes.
I think the other thing is we got to play tough to the end. We
Yep.
like one thing you're going to learn from this year going into next year for the guys that are coming back is that hey, we got to win the games that we're in.
Yep.
We
Yep.
don't want to wait till the last minute and have to win that final game to get in there. Look, that you talk about the Carolina and SGA, we got to get those wins so that we're not in a position at the very end to have to win to get into the playoffs. And so
Yep.
it's a lesson learned. The
Yep.
boys will be ready. I think this kind of season that we had this year is going to make us better next year. And now, Coach, I'd like to give you a chance to talk about those three seniors. I mean, that's what you had. Obviously, you got the bulk of the team coming back, but when you lose seniors, I mean, it's always hard, right? It's always tough because some of those guys, when they're seniors, they've been with you some 4 years, some 2, 3 years. It's like letting a family member, a son,
Mhm.
graduate and leave, right? It's tough for the
Yep.
coach, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about them, their play on the field, but just what they meant to you and to this program.
So, starting with the one that lasted the longest, Jonathan Ramirez, Mr. Fantastic. He as you know, he was a 4-year varsity player. He started defensive line, then went to holding mid, then went to cam, then went to nine, and he played just about every position this year for us. Lead goal scorer for the last 2 years. I think he's holds 6 records for the entire varsity program. Just a kid that uh, his production on the field is obviously it's in the record books. You know what I mean? So and then it's astonishing to me to think that had he actually played offense his freshman and sophomore years, how much more his records could be, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So just a kid that you can't duplicate the production, and the just the style he played. He just had so much raw skill. Just a quality player. Could probably go and play at any organization or college if he actually wanted to. Cesar, Iron Man, you know, this year specifically, uh, Chihuahuas, just a brick wall, in the back line. And the thing about it is like, I played him, Lord, everywhere. I played him at the cam. Remember the week that we had 5 starters out? I played him at the center attacking mid. I played him at wing back. I played him at center defender. I played him at holding mid. I played him at defensive mid. Just a guy that just, no matter what I told him, he was like, "Yes, coach, got you, sir." So, it's going to be very difficult. You never, when you talk about replacement, you don't replace that particular player, right? You kind of build and go on with what you have next. You know what I mean? Because there's no such thing as a replacement. You can't replace a guy who is productive or whatever. Now, can you replicate it, or can another guy step in and do more? Absolutely. But like, we're not gonna say, oh, we're gonna replace him next year. Nah, you can't replace these 3 guys. You know what I mean? And then lastly, Egan Privet, as the Carnage, a kid that he came to the program as a freshman, moved him up his freshman year to varsity, didn't play much. Sophomore, similar deal, kind of injured, kind of not. Then he dealt with concussions. He had like 4 of them throughout his career. And this year, it was just his season was plagued. He was sick. He had another head injury. He had, just different things that kind of. But like when he was able to play, just filthy, just absolutely amazing with his technique and the way he played. I saw him make so many guys just miss and fall from the back line. He's just a great defender. You know what I mean? And he ended up getting a goal in the last game. They got a penalty kick and they let him kick it and he made it. He banged it in. So, like I said, 2 defenders and a center attacking mid that will not be able to be replaced, but we'll have to move on next year. and I will definitely dearly miss them. As you know, Iron Man ended up winning
Mhm,
the athlete of the week, if you remember.
mhm.
Just a stellar student, right? The stellar student. Um, and those, when you're smart like that, it kind of reflects on the pitch as well. You know what I mean? So when you're an athlete like he was, so it is definitely disheartening and sad. All three of those guys played all 4 years for me, and they will be missed going into next year.
But I tell you what, I want to thank them for everything they did because when we talked about some of these kids, it wasn't just and having them on to come on the podcast. We talked a little bit about the type of kids that they were in the classroom, leadership, community. That's what this podcast is here for. And so, unfortunately, they have to graduate. I wish they'd have done this 4 years ago, but we really could have got them when they were younger, not their senior year. But again, just thank them for everything they did. They put on that jersey. We always say Mustang pride never dies, right? And so they played to me. They were just great leaders and took a lot of pride in putting on that jersey and playing tough to the end. And so, they're champions in my eyes. I'm glad I got to know them, and we wish them well the rest of the school year, and then into whatever, if it's going to be work or college, wherever they're going. I don't know, but we definitely wish them well and thank them for coming out here, representing this community of Ingleside well, and playing their hearts out and giving us an opportunity every time we got on that soccer field. So to thank all three of them. And thank you also, Coach, for those kind words and just bringing those boys on. I know sometimes they don't want to come on, and if it wasn't for you, they probably wouldn't come on. If I had, just saw them and you want to come on, no, I don't know, you're not going to come on. So I want to thank you for those boys coming on. A lot of it has to do with the coaches because they trust the coaches. The coaches tell them, come on, you're coming on. I think it really helps when the coach is on with them as well because some of them don't know me, don't know the pockets, so they want to shy away with the coach on with them. I think makes all the difference. So thank you for that. And I wanted, before I give you your final thoughts, I do want to go back and just kind of give you an opportunity to reflect back on the full season. When you look back at this season, and you probably already have, and you probably will again during the summer, but what are some of the things that you're going to be, as you reflect back, are you going to remember some of the good times? I know you already talked about some of those games we should have won, but overall, just what are you going to, when you reflect back, what are you going to think about this season in
Oh,
particular?
man, don't make me do that. No, man. To me, I think back to so 2024 and 2023, right? I think back 2023, we made that playoff run. I say run. Got to the area round and won the by district round. And 2024 was supposed to replicate that because we had a similar situation to this year where we reloaded. And then 2024, we missed by a single point, a single tie. And if we would have made that tie, we would have been in because we not only would have got in, if we would have owned that point, we would have jumped from the 5 seed to the 3 seed because we owned two tiebreakers in that season. So that was a big, how do you call it? Just a heartbreak, This season, though, in my humble opinion, with having those three seniors in our ranks, was probably the biggest miss in my career as a coach. Um, and when you look at it, hindsight's 2020, right? There's probably nothing I personally could have done field wise, game wise, that would have changed the outcome of this season. Just because, like we were talking about, there's so much we had to overcome, right? From being down early. But at the same time, I feel like this particular group, these three seniors, with such a young group of scorers with them, we really missed out on what I say is the best top to bottom roster I've ever had. Um, Once again, 2023 was great. They went 2 rounds in the playoffs, but like when you looked at this defensive line, the midfielders and the strikers, they were all pure. You know what I mean? They were all pure. Uh, as we say, puro football, right? They were pure soccer players. 2023 was not that. It was guys coming out from basketball to play, guys that weren't really soccer players that came, and they all were good, you know what I mean? But this was the team that was a very, very high focus of soccer and talent and skill level through the roof, and we just underperformed when we needed to perform high and got sick and injured at times we didn't need to be sick and injured, you know? So the biggest miss of my career as a coach trying to make playoffs, that was the biggest one. Once again, learned so much from it. So many different training aspects, so many different positional aspects, communication aspects, uh, game tactic aspects. So much we got from it, but like, cause you always learn more from a loss than a win, right?
Absolutely.
But just a very, very like, it's disheartening to know that those guys missed playoffs because that team was, loaded. You know what I mean? Loaded with so much talent.
And coach, it happens that way sometimes. But again, like I said, we faced adversity, and just starting off, when everyone got healthy, having to just climb back in, right, because of the losses. I think when you look back at that and you say, "Hey, man, these boys fought. They came back. They put themselves." I often say when I talk sports, I say, you know what? Put yourself in a position at the end. And even though we didn't make it, and that is sad for the boys because they put so much work in, you put yourself there, you climb back. I think when the boys hopefully look back and they'll think about this, they'll say, hey, man, we were out and we fought our way back in there. And if a goal goes here, man, if we stop this, right, a point here, point there, that's how close we were.
We were
but it's
week
there.
week 3, we were sitting in the 7 seed
I know.
and climbed all the way back in, and we're a half point back from the 3 seed, and then stayed at the 4 seed for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. And then just there at the very end, 2 games left, got relegated to the 5 seed. Just heartbreaking.
I think when I look back
Heartbreaking.
at it, though, those are the things I'll remember. But coach, thank you for coming on and just putting a period. We definitely want to do that. Sometimes it's hard because you got to kind of, okay, now I got to go back. I wasn't thinking about this. Now I'm going to go back and think about this. But I think it's really important to be able to put a period to the season, whether it turns out our way or not.
Yep.
Because I thought the boys did really good. So thank you
Oh,
for
yeah.
coming out, coach. And look, I'll be back next year unless Coach Chrisman tells me I can. But if he wants me back next year, we'll be doing this back next year, and I'll be definitely sending you an invitation again.
Let's get it.
To
Let's
come
get it.
on out and let's
I'm
get it
ready.
from the very beginning. But I'll give you
Hopefully,
the
Lord
final word.
providing us a better outlook, right?
It will. It will. But I'll give you the final word. Anything you want to add, Coach, before we let you go?
Once again, I think I'm probably talking until I'm blue in the face. I want to give you a shout out. I appreciate you for everything you've done for putting light on the program and putting light on these kids and giving those guys a platform. Um, Huge shout out to 50/50 Podcast, which is a big soccer podcast. A huge shout out to Lethal Enforcer, another platform on Twitter, X. Huge shout out to my team. I love those boys like they're my sons. And that's probably one of the main reasons I get so. I'm a competitor, but one of the main reasons why I get so sad when things don't go our way. You know what I mean? Truly do love and treat them like family, and do love my boys. And huge shout out for my family for always showing support and always going to the matches and being a number one proponent for FC Ingleside. And huge shout out to Coach Chrisman. He really supports us through and through, and everybody else that really does. I truly appreciate, and the FC Ingleside faithful that show up no matter it's cold, hot, windy, always out there. And our fan base is growing every year, so I'm just blessed to be able to be a small part in such a big program. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, coach. And even though the season's over, if you need anything, if you need to get anything out, even if it's for youth, soccer, whatever you got to do. I mean, it's just the soccer there in Ingleside. It's a podcast and a network that we put out there. So if you're seeing something that needs to get out, even if it's not with the high school, but if it's with the youth or anything, you got to get up to the community. Don't hesitate to send me a text. You got my number, and we'll get
Yes,
you
sir.
on or get anybody on that we need to do to continue to shine light on this program. But definitely, we'll see you back next year.
Yes, sir.
Go another year here to hopefully next year we will be in the playoffs. But until then,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you soon.
I appreciate you, big dog. Y'all be good. Talk to y'all later.
Yes, sir.
Bye bye.
All right, that was our soccer program, head coach of our soccer program there in Ingleside, Coach Lewis Williams. Man, got to know him. Didn't know anything about him until this year, but he has a lot of passion, man. And the one thing that I'll take many things away, but I think his connection with the kids just really surprised me because Coach is, I think he's kind of young still. I didn't ask him his age, but he just was able to connect. Yeah, and those boys just really enjoyed it. You want to win, and it's sad that you don't. But I guarantee you, those boys had a great time. They faced adversity, but you could just tell with we had Coach Moreau on, they're able to connect with those kids, which makes it interesting. Great memories, and I think that's one of the most important things for the kids. Is they'll take all of these memories that they made here this year and years past. And so I know Coach is a little sad about not making it, but he does a heck of a job there with the program. And like I said, the connection that he has with all of those kids, not just some of them, but all of them. You can tell that he takes care of them and wants the best for them. And when you have coaches like that, you're going to be around for a long time and you're going to have a lot of success. So once again, thank you to Coach Williams and his assistant coach, Marquise Barreau, and hopefully looking back to have them both next year as we'll do the podcast once soccer season comes around next year. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of time. I've got to send meeting info. We're going to be doing we're going to be talking about our softball program next with Coach Kevin Lewis. So just give me an opportunity here, a chance to send him the meeting info, and then we'll get started once he gets on. Right, as I was saying, it's Monday Mustang podcast, and so Coach Kevin Lewis, Coach uh, Lynch was unavailable today. We're going to try to get him back on sometime this week. Not sure what my schedule. We should be streaming the game tomorrow, and then we've got another podcast on Wednesday. So we're going to try to get him in to kind of put a period onto the season. And then, of course, Coach Williams comes on. Now we're going to be bringing in Coach Kevin Lewis. And we're going to talk a little bit about our Ingleside Lady Mustang softball. And then right after that, we'll end it with our baseball program. Coach Sanchez is available. He hasn't been available the last couple of weeks because they've been playing a lot of games on Monday. But those games on Monday are done now. They go back to Tuesdays and Fridays as we get close to district. So we'll definitely have Coach Sanchez on. I think he's going to bring an assistant coach and two of his players as well. We should have some of the younger players for our softball coming on. We'll see if Coach was able to talk the younger girls to come on the podcast. But for baseball, I know we do have one of the assistant coaches coming on and two of the varsity players. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And we'll see if Coach Lewis, when he comes on here, was able to get some of his players on. So we won't shut the stream down. It'll be one after another. So maybe about an hour and a half or so that I'll be on here. So if you get a little tired, take a little break, shut it off, then come on back if you want to. There he is, the head man here in Ingleside for our Lady Mustang softball team program, and that's Coach Kevin Lewis. Coach, how you doing?
All right, how you doing, Gabe?
I'm doing great, Coach. Doing great. So, Coach, is it going to be just you and I, or were you able to talk to those young girls to come on?
I worked on it. I think we might get one or two of them, maybe all three. I just sent them the code right now, so we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I know they're younger in age, so it's a little harder for them to come on. I'm sure they're going to get a little, but I won't keep them too long. I'll ask them. I won't go like I did the seniors. I'll kind of keep it a little easy.
Oh, there's two of them right there.
All right. So who do we got here on the screen, Coach?
We got Kiki Smith and Kaylee Murua.
Okay, Kaylee Murua and Kiki. So which one's Kiki?
Kiki is on the right of the screen.
On the right. Okay. And who's the other one? Kaylee Murua?
Yep.
Murua. Okay.
Kaylee's in the blue.
Thank you for coming on. You're both freshmen, correct? They are right. Are they freshmen, coach?
Yeah.
They're both freshmen.
Yes, sir. Is
So
Derek coming?
I don't know if she has the code. Did she get it? I don't know if she's.
Yeah, I think she did.
Your dad sent it to her? Let me message her.
No,
We're
she
trying to
didn't.
get all three freshmen on.
She didn't get the code.
Okay, let
oh,
me
that's
send.
awesome, coach. That's awesome. I like that. And ladies, I'll just ask you a few questions. I won't bombard you guys with a lot, so you guys don't have to. It's a lot of fun when you come on here. We like to bring you on. You're definitely what I call the future of our lady Mustang softball. Obviously, you're going to be around for the next couple of years, so we definitely like to get you guys on and introduce you to the community. And once we get the other player on, we'll kind of get you guys to introduce yourselves, and we'll ask a couple of questions, and then we'll let you go. I do want to thank you guys for coming on. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Well, we'll go ahead and start it off right here. So Kiki, we'll go to you first. So I know I saw you played other sports. I know that. What other sports did you play there in Ingleside? Because I saw your name.
I ran cross country and I played basketball.
You didn't play volleyball, did you?
No.
No, just basketball. Okay, I remember seeing coach talking about you in basketball. So let's talk a little bit about softball. So to introduce yourself, we've already said your name. What is your jersey number and what position do you play for the Lady Mustangs?
I'm number 4 and I play center and sometimes pitcher.
That's good. Pitcher, I've seen coach put you in there a couple of times. That's a pretty tough position for a freshman playing and going in there. But I think it's good that you get in there and get some plays. And at some point, coach is going to turn that circle to you possibly at some point. So why not start now, right? And get yourself acclimated with a little bit of the way it's going to go, the pressure and all of that other stuff. I got to ask you, Kiki, is softball your favorite sport?
Yes.
So how long have you, like, at what age did you pick up a bat and ball? Do you remember?
No, I was really young.
Young. So you've been playing for a very long time. Who introduced you to softball? Is there a family member that played, mom or dad?
I think my uncle.
So somebody in the family you saw, so they said, hey, here you go. They saw some talent in you and here you go and you play. So Kaylee, I'll go to you. So we've said your name. What's your jersey number and what position do you play for the Lady Mustangs?
I'm number 15 and I play left field.
And is softball the only sport that you play there in Ingleside?
No, I played volleyball.
Volleyball. Okay, good. And so do you remember at what age you picked up a bat or started throwing a softball?
4.
Wow, that was young. You're like me, man. So I put my kids out there when they were 3 or 4, starting to teach them. And who introduced you to the game of softball?
My father.
So he loved softball. Well, I got to tell you guys a little story here. So like right now, I've got 6 screens here, right? And on the left screen right here, if you let me look in the way, it's because I'm watching the Lady Longhorns taking on Florida, right, in game number 3. So I'm watching them. So I used to watch baseball. Really wasn't into softball at all until about 3 years ago. I'd watch it every now and then and read it. Now I'm a big time Lady Longhorn. Every time they play, I'm watching them. So when you see me move over, which I try not to, I'm watching the game here against them. But dad taught you. So you've been playing for quite some time. Have you both of you, Kiki and Kaylee, have y'all lived in Ingleside since y'all were little?
Yes.
So
No.
no, Kaylee, at what age did you at what age did you come over to Ingleside? Do you remember?
Just now.
Well, I moved to Ingleside now, but I've been in AP.
Okay. So you've been in the area. Okay. That's great. And coach, on the other side, who do we have just joining us now?
That's Dara
Dara
Davila. DK.
Dara Davila. Well, definitely. So now I finally get to see the face. So we've been calling your name out. Obviously, we've called 2 games, and it's nice to be able to see you now. You've been doing really good here. Is this another freshman as well, correct, coach?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, you've been doing really good there. So for the people who we're going to introduce you here. They don't know you. What's your jersey number and what position do you play for the Lady Mustangs
I'm number 10 and I play first.
first? And at what age do you remember? At what age you picked up a bat and started throwing the softball?
I don't remember.
Must have been that young, huh? And who introduced you to the game of softball?
My dad and my
Okay,
cousins.
absolutely. And do you play any other sports there for Ingleside?
Yes, sir.
Softball? Do you play basketball, volleyball?
Volleyball.
Volleyball. Oh, good, good. So we're going to be seeing you guys around. We did the podcast with both Coach Lance Whittle and his wife also. So we'll be talking to you guys if you guys play there next year. So these are our freshmen. They're the younger group, but Coach puts them in and they impact the games. And so they're going to be around for the next couple of years. Dara, I would ask you, playing as a freshman with this group, because this is a group, Lilani and Bethany and Maddie, they're all seniors. How's the chemistry been between you as a younger player with those ladies that are juniors and seniors?
Pretty good.
Do you ever go to them for when you got like something like, do they help you like so you can understand since you're younger? Do they kind of come over or do you go to them for any type of advice or help you during a situation at a game or practice?
Yes, sir. Sometimes I go up to them and ask them questions.
That's awesome. And what's the chemistry with your teammates here, the other freshmen?
Good.
Are you guys, how happy? I'm going to start there. How happy are you to be playing varsity this year? Like, were you excited when you found out, hey, I'm a freshman? And I'm going to, so tell us a little bit about how excited you were.
I was pretty excited. I've been working really hard, so.
Absolutely. Did you jump up, yell, or did you just say high five? Hey, I'm there. It's good.
High five.
High five. Let's go. Kiki, I'll ask you. I think it's something big when you're a freshman and you get to play on varsity. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, right? To me, that says, like Dara said, you're playing. Hard work paid off, right? Coach saw something in you ladies and he said, hey, I can use them here. It's great experience. Might be a little bit of a rough patch here and there, but it's going to pay off as you guys get into your junior and senior year. But for you, Kiki, what was it like? How excited were you when you found out, hey, I'm going to be on varsity?
Really excited.
Did you high five like Dara, or were you jumping, telling everybody, calling everybody? Did you want everybody to know? What was that like for you?
No, I just
just a high five and yeah.
yes.
Kaylee, I'll ask you, was it the same thing for you or were you a little bit more excited? Did you yell?
I was the same.
Same. So all three, you guys, no surprise, right? Coach saw the talent we have. We're going to get in there. Kaylee, I want to ask you, because you guys all play and I've seen, and so I follow you guys on Game Changer too. So when I'm not there, I've got an iPad, 2 iPads. So I'm always watching. If I'm doing a game out in Tolosa Mesa or Rockport, I've got the Game Changer on and I'm watching every pitch, every hit. You guys, coach is putting you guys in positions, right? In big time positions to have to come through for the team. Kaylee, I'll go to you. What's it like for you? How much confidence have you built? Because this is the way to ask the question for you, Kaylee. How much confidence have you built from the first scrimmage to where you're at now in district?
Actually, I've built a lot knowing that I got more comfortable and knowing that they have my back.
That's awesome. Kiki, I'll ask you the same thing. Confidence from the first scrimmage up to now you're playing in district.
My confidence definitely has gone higher knowing that I have been doing good. Yeah.
Awesome. And Dara, I'd ask you, how much has your confidence gone up from the beginning to where we're at now?
It's gone up a lot knowing that I have other players that have my back.
Let me ask you, Dara, the season this year, obviously this is your first year. You guys were in junior high last year. So, the girls, I mean, you were just probably going to the game or you were seeing it. You weren't part of the team last year, but these girls really opened up some eyes last year. The Lady Mustangs, they had a great season. They were co-district champs. And then when you saw they played Cal Allen and took them, in the second round, took the loss, but really played competitive against the state champs. Coming in this year, what's the expectation if you're talking to the girls? What are you hearing? What's your what are you, Daryl? Dara, what's the expectation for this team? How far can this team go this year in your mind?
Make it to state and win
Woo!
state.
That's what I like. Listen, you got to have that goal. Coach comes out and said he's the best coach. He's often come in here and said, look, I'm the best coach. He's got to believe that for other people to believe that. And I love what you said. It's got to be state, right? That's got to be the ultimate goal, whether you get there or not. That's the goal to reach there. If you don't have that goal, you're probably never going to get there. So I love that answer. We're going to be the last team standing. The team's good enough to get there. I can tell you that. Kiki, for you, same question. What's the expectation for this team? How far can this team go?
I think we can go really far.
Awesome. And Kaylee, I'd ask you the same thing.
I think we'd go far.
Absolutely. Are you going to win district again, Kaylee?
Yeah.
Well, you're off to a great start, ladies. 2-0, right? This week, we'll talk to coach. Don't have a district game. Have some non-district games that I think are on the schedule. That's going to be really good to prepare us. So I'm definitely looking forward to going out there again and streaming some of your games. I want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast. I didn't want to bombard you guys with so many questions that you guys will say, we ain't going back there next time coach asks us. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want to thank you guys for coming on. And I hope that when coach asks you guys to come back on, you guys will come on back. And the next time, maybe we'll get into a little bit more questions. Before I let you go, though, Dara, I'll go to you. I always want to give the players an opportunity to talk about coach. So this is the first time you've really been under Coach Lewis here this year. Tell us what he's like. How has he helped you this year?
He pushes us and he gives us the tools to win and make it to state.
You know, he came in here and I think he's built confidence from what I've seen. Like I said, not at every game, but I'm watching on Game Changer, and everything has shifted. See you girls playing with more confidence. Now we're believing there in Ingleside, we can be the best, right? We can win district titles, not one every 5 or 6 years. We can win every year. We can compete for that title every year. We can go 3+ rounds. And I think that's very, very important for players to believe that. And I really like this team. I've gotten to know Coach. I've gotten to know, I'm not from Ingleside, but I root for Ingleside. I'm from Rockport, and I root for Rockport too, obviously. But, you know, I think it's good. Both teams are good. And I think this team right here is really good. You got a good pitcher. Kiki pitches. You got Avery Adami, the pitches. Coach is stacked there. But I love the offense. I think that's where this team is really, really good and that we can score. It's hard for other teams to shut this offense down. You got to be really good to shut this offense down for 7 innings. So really looking forward to the rest of the district games. Kiki, I'll go to you. Talk to us a little bit about Coach Lewis. How has he helped you this year?
He really has drive to like push us because he sees like the potential in us, and he's encouraging.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And Kaylee, I'll go to you. How has Coach helped you?
Pretty good, giving me like tips on new things that I either haven't learned or wasn't taught.
That's good. And you girls are still young, so it's a learning experience, right? Like it's you're learning. I'm watching you girls play. I love what you girls are playing. I didn't really know you guys were freshmen because I didn't know you very well till Coach came out and told me. But I think you guys are off to a great start, 2-0 in district, and hopefully we stay injury free. That's number one. And I hope we make a deep playoff run this year because I think we can definitely do that. Coach, I want to ask you before I let the ladies. Like I asked you guys to talk about Coach, I'm going to ask Coach to talk about you. So, Coach, you can go with either one. How special are these young girls to the program?
They're very special. I'll start with Dara. I told her probably maybe a weekend or so that she's the best first baseman in the district. I would put her up, especially defensively. I would put her up against anybody, probably anybody around here. I mean, she comes through a lot when balls are thrown bad. She's scooping. She has a strong arm. She knows what to do. She's coachable. So she's really helped our I'll say infield tremendously. Her bat's starting to come along. As we knew in the beginning, it was going to be a little struggle because they were used to seeing 14U or whatever pitching. And when you go to College Station, you're seeing grown women to them. So that's something that I've seen when you ask them about confidence. I think at the plate, confidence for all three of them have grown. For Kiki, she's just she's a difference maker. She has stuff she has an ability that's God-given, which is speed. The old saying, you can't coach speed. So getting her on base helps us. In the outfield and center field, she can go and track the ball. She's made numerous great plays. I think we call her the closer or something right now, because I think the last 3 wins, she's made the last out. So she's doing great out there. And then Kaylee is a little bit of everything. She could hit for power. She's got some speed. She tracks the ball. She's got a strong arm. She's learning the game. And we're happy that she decided to move from Aransas over. I call it a steal. I'm glad that she chose to come with us. And I'm happy to have all three. I mean, they're all three starting. They play a lot. They're like you said, they're the future. And the good thing about them, maybe not Dara. She's going to be at first probably for 4 years. But Kiki and Kaylee, they can play the infield. Kiki can pitch. They could play the outfield. Kaylee can even catch if needed. So they're well-rounded players.
And that's awesome. And for the community, these are 3 of the younger girls that we have. We'll have them for the next couple of years. And so, ladies, the only thing I can tell you is you're doing a great job. Keep working hard. You're representing this community well. And I'm excited because, like Coach said, for such young players in first year in high school, playing against girls that have more power, more experience, you girls are impacting the game. You're playing higher than your age and your freshman level. So continue to work hard. And if you need anything, if you need to get a message out, this platform is for you, ladies and Coach. So anytime you need to get something out, if you guys want to get out to the community, let Coach know. He'll reach me. More than welcome to come on and talk to the community. Use this platform. It is for the Ingleside Lady Mustangs, our softball program. Ladies, thank you very much. Next time I'll have a little bit more questions, but I don't want to make it too. We're not going to go back out there. So I hope when Coach invites you guys will come back. But I'll leave this and give you guys the final thought. Dara, I'll go to you. Any shout outs? Anything you want to add before we let you go? You have any shout outs? Anything?
Shout out to Dad.
You want to shout out to Mom, Dad, Coach?
Shout out to my mom, to my dad,
Anybody else? Teammates, Coach?
my teammates, my coach, everyone.
Absolutely. If you say everyone, that includes everyone.
She's trying to get some crumble from her dad.
Kiki, any shout outs? Anything you want to add before we let you go?
Everyone.
Okay, when you say everyone, you don't leave anybody out. Kaylee, any shout outs?
Friends, family, coaches.
Absolutely, ladies. Thank you very much for coming out. Good luck. I think you guys got a game against SGA on Wednesday. So we can make it out there. Hopefully we can get out there and stream your game. But we'll be back out there for some district games. But good luck this week and the rest of the season. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you. They're a little shy, Coach. They're freshmen. I understand. We've had a couple of other ones, but there are a future. But Coach, they are playing great. You are putting them in positions to get better, and I do see the stats. And they're playing. You're right. They're not just freshmen that are playing every now and then. They're playing. They're building. They're hitting. They're impacting the game, and I think that growth is really going to show once they get into their juniors and senior year. And that's the idea, right? When they're young, play them. Because we're going to lose the Kylie Wards. We're going to lose the Lalanis and the Maddies and them. So in order to stay competitive, these girls got to be ready. So far, they're doing a great job here. Those were the younger girls, 3 of our freshmen on the varsity team. Coach, thank you for bringing them out. I do got a couple of questions for you, Coach. I want to recap some of the games that we played. Obviously, the Calhoun game, the last time we talked, we were going to play Calhoun, travel to Calhoun, and we did get out there, and we got the win 10-0. That puts us 2-0 right now in district play. That's exactly where we want to be. Some of the stats there for the Calhoun game, we'll go offensively. Number 1, Leilani Smith. She went 3 for 3, 3 runs, 1 RBI. Number 7, Bethany Aceves, 3 for 3, 1 run, 3 RBIs. In that game, your Lady Mustangs had 10 total hits, 10 RBIs. What did you see from them, Coach, in that game against Calhoun?
I thought we came out in the very first inning and put a little pressure on them. Anytime Carol gets on base with speed, that'll help us out. And then Leilani, I think, had either a base hit or a double. I can't remember exactly. And then Beth drove them in, so that gave a 2-run lead. And then we ended up building it to 5, which anytime you can get 5 runs in the first with Ward on the mound, that I like our chances. So she came, she went in and pretty much got 1, 2, 3, or maybe one person got on. I don't really remember, but basically it was 5-0 going to the second, and then we get 2 more to make it 7-0. So that was huge. And then I think in the 4th, Avery hit a 2-run bomb to kind of make it 10. So overall, I thought the offense clicked early, and then we just kind of kept going. And then, Ward was on. She only had 5 Ks. So that tells you how good the defense was. So she allowed 5 hits and she had 2 walks. So kind of skated around, but the defense backed her up this game, and the offense carried us.
Absolutely. And getting production from that top of the lineup was really good to see. And with that win, now the Lady Mustangs 2-0 in district play, just exactly where you want to be at this time in the season as the district starts. So this week they'll have some other games. We'll talk to Coach here in a little bit about those games. There won't be a district game that's scheduled to play this week. It won't happen until the following week, but we'll see what Coach has in store for the Lady Mustangs as far as non-district games this week. Coach, before we get to that, I do also want to talk, because it was kind of tough, right? So the girls, as they start spring break, they didn't have a spring break to start off. They went to TAP on Monday, and all 3 of these games that they played were back to back to back, and they were on the road. So they go to TAP, get a big win. The very next day, they got to go to Calhoun, and they get the win. And then they got to play probably in the 3rd game on Wednesday, the toughest team in the area, which is Cal Allen. Obviously, Cal Allen got the win. I was watching that game on Game Changer, kind of lost it there toward the middle as they got going there. But Coach, the thing that I wanted to talk to you about, number 1, Kylie got 7 strikeouts in that game, which I thought kind of wrote it down, because against a really good offense, that was really, really great to see. I know she didn't finish out that game. What was interesting to me is how they were able to shut down this offense. And 2 times that we played, they've been able to do that. I want you to kind of talk about that game, but what is it that you're seeing from what they're doing or we're not doing that they're able to shut down what I think is a very good offense?
Well, they got a really good pitcher. I mean, everybody knows that. I thought, the score is not how the game was played. You could blame that on me. I just felt like the game meant a lot to everybody but us, really, if that makes sense. It wasn't a district game. We weren't getting out of the playoffs. Of course, you want to win, but once I saw that we really weren't getting any hits, I'm not going to keep throwing Ward with district on the line. So, and Kiki got to get in and see what it's like. So like you said, that's going to be good experience for her later on. She didn't realize it right now, but that's going to be something that she could take with her and say, man, a good hitting team, I got to do this and this different than what I did against Cal Allen. But back to the question, they have a good pitcher, and you know, she had 13 Ks, which is too many. I thought in the second inning she walked Ward to start the inning, so I put Ruby in, our freshman runner. I think Avery, we tried to bunt, couldn't get a bunt down. So then with Dara up, which this is a big thing here, we did a hit and run, both of them freshmen, and they actually executed it. When you go back and look at the ruling, it was a hit. I know that in the paper they said she had a no-hitter, but that doesn't really matter. But that was a hit because of the execution. You know, I was not going to sit there and, you know, we tried to bunt probably 4 or 5 times. We just didn't execute. We got the one hit and run. But really she beat us, and it's a really good pitcher. So we know if we want to get our goals or reach our goals, that we have to be better offensively. I know we do pretty good, but we got to take it to the next level to where it doesn't matter who's pitching, we can hit them.
Yeah, Coach, I think you're right. You had the fans and myself, so you know the hype's there. I do believe that we're not going to see him in the playoffs this year. I think they're going to go big school. We're going to go small school. So we're not going to see him again. So I thought it was really good for us to see that type of pitch. I mean, look, they're back-to-back state champs. They don't get no better than Cal Allen right this year. They're loaded over there. So even though we didn't get the win, like I said, Kylie getting those 7 strikeouts says a lot. Being able to get 7 strikeouts against that offense. So there were some things that we were able to do. I'm not gonna obviously my thing going into this game was how much energy will the girls have. They had to travel to Taft, they had to play Calhoun. It's back to back to back. We're not gonna make any excuses. You know, we lost, but obviously we're gonna learn from this. And like you said, district is what counts. When you see that things aren't really happening the way they need to, you pull out, you start. And then it's good for Kiki to be able to get in there and see those type of hitters as she continues to grow in the circle. So overall, didn't get the win, but we didn't lose anything, Coach, right? We didn't lose anything. We'll be right back with 2-0 in district. Let's get going. And so now we go into this week. There is a non-district game on Wednesday against Santa Gertrudis Academy. I think this is going to be a great game. They're good. We're good. I'm definitely looking forward. If I can't stream that game, because I don't know if my tech's going to be available, I'm definitely going to go out there. I want to see this game one way or the other because I really think this is going to be a good one. That's on Wednesday at 5:30 and 5. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock. That's in Ingleside. So it's there at home. We definitely invite all of the Mustang fans to come on out. It's non-district. And then, Coach, we were going to have a game on Odom. Remember last time you said they weren't coming on. Have we replaced that game?
No, he actually texted back and said they're back on. So
Okay.
Odom at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay, so we do got it. So SGA, both of them are at home. SGA at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, and then Saturday. You said at what time, Coach?
6.
6. They're both at home, so definitely come on out. Both non-district games, but going to be good games, and that's going to continue to prepare us for the following week where we'll go back into district. Coach, what do you want to see from the team in these 2 games? Obviously, I don't know, you might play a little different because like you said, you know, you don't want anybody to get injured or anything as you go into district, but playing who you're going to play, however that plays out, what do you want to see from the team against these 2 non-district games?
Well, Academy is always a very good program. So that's another state ranked team. They got a chance to go to the state tournament again this year. They're pretty loaded with seniors. So that's going to be a good game. And the question that I asked on Thursday is we're a good or we're a great team, but how can we be an elite team? And I just want to see us start to take the step of trying to be elite. And when you play Cal Allen and when you play Academy and when you go to College Station, some of those are elite. I want to see if we could start executing at that high level. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on Wednesday. And then Saturday, just kind of, getting back to getting back to the basics, trying to learn, hit and runs and, when to tag, letting the other pitchers get the pitch against Odom. And then just trying to get ready because after Odom, I think we only have one more non-district game. So really, I just say after Odom, it's go time. Next week is Beeville and Rockport, and then we start back over. And like I told the seniors today, you're guaranteed 1 month. It looks good for playoffs, so you're guaranteed 1 month and one series. And then after that, it all depends on, your leadership and what you do moving forward.
Absolutely. That game against in Odom is at 6 p.m. there in Ingleside, correct?
Yes.
You might
Three,
be able,
three games in a row here finally.
yeah, that's good. We might be able to catch that game at Saturday. I get off at 2 o'clock. There's plenty of time to get over to Ingleside. So we definitely want to try to get as many games as we can. So I know I'll excuse me, I'll definitely text my tech, but I think we can do Saturday if he's available. Wednesday he goes to school. And so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But like I said, if not, if I gotta go do it on my phone, I'll do it on my phone. We won't have all the equipment, but as long as we get it on there. But I definitely want to see that game because I think that's going to be a very good game. So we invite everyone to come on out this week, Saturday, 6 in the evening, 6 p.m. Odom will be in town. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be a really good game against Santa Gertrudis. You heard Coach talk about they're ranked. We're good. They're good. So it's going to be a good one. You need that home field advantage. Definitely come on out like we did against Sinton. Standing room only is what I want to see. So definitely come on out. 2 games there at home. Coach, thank you very much for coming out. Spending some time. Thank you for bringing the ladies out. And I'll give you the final word. Anything you want to add?
Hey, just thanks for having us like always. Let's start getting the crowd out there. It's about to be hit and miss time. It's either win or go home coming up, and we're trying to win district, so we need everybody out there to push us through.
Yeah, Coach, the other thing I'll talk to you as the season starts. So I know if you make the playoffs, obviously I got a form that we can send in to get approved to stream those games. Because once you get into the playoffs, they charge a certain amount, but that they charge you if it's a 1 game, however the coach, or if it's a 3-game series, the price is the same. But I've got a form where I want to fill in. Definitely want to get out there to stream a playoff game for people that can't go. We hadn't done that here for Ingleside, so definitely looking forward to doing that. But as we get closer to the end of the season, see where we stand, I'll definitely talk to you and see where we're at. But we're definitely looking to be able to bring those games. We just have to see how everything plays out. But definitely looking to try to get approved through the UIL to be able to stream those games. So we'll talk to Coach as we get toward the end of the season, see where we're at. But Coach, thank you very much. Good luck. Like I said, I'll be there on Wednesday, and then I'll let you know about Saturday to stream those games. If we can do them both, we'll definitely be out there to stream both of them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
All right. So that was our podcast with our softball head coach, Kevin Lewis. And like I said, this team, it's high expectations. I've seen them, but like Coach said, he wants to get from that good grade to elite, which is what it's going to take to be able to get 3+. Once you get to that 3rd round, man, those teams are really good. But I think where coaches set the girls going into some of those early tournaments, seeing those bigger schools at good pitching, good at speed, playing against Cal Allen, playing against Santa Gertrudis. It's all going to prepare you for what you need to see in those later rounds in the playoffs. So I think we're up to I think we're playing teams that we need to that are going to continue to make us better, whether we're getting those W's or not. We're getting better, and then bringing in those girls, those young girls who are a little shy, but they're playing. All three of them play big minutes for the team. They just don't sit and run. They bat, they feel, like Coach said, which I think is good to see them, and getting those young girls to be able to see the speed and see their growth for next year, and then teaming them up with some of the seniors and the juniors. This team is loaded, and hopefully we'll see some of that elite play that Coach is talking about. And it starts on Wednesday. Definitely come on out. They're at home against SGA. SGA is really good, so it's going to be a good matchup. You definitely don't want to miss that. And we can stream it. Like I said, we'll be there. And then on Saturday, an unusual game, but Saturday at 6. I think hopefully we can stream that. We'll be there against Otis. So 2 non-district games. They're at home. Definitely hope the crowd will go out there and cheer our Lady Mustangs, and we go 2-0. As in the following week, we'll go into district. So I've sent Coach Sanchez the meeting info. Like I said, let's give him a couple minutes, see if he is able to come on. We were coming on a little late, a few minutes late, maybe we're about 10 minutes late. All right, he's going to be coming on here shortly. Let me kind of get my questions ready for him. So here we go. So Coach Sanchez will be coming up next. I want to thank all you guys for those that are watching. I'm not sure. I don't have my screen over here, so I'm not looking at it. But if you're watching, thank you very much. Something that we want to continue to do, kind of go back to back. We had Coach Williams, and then we had Coach Lewis talk softball. Now we're going to end it with baseball. And I'm really excited because we've had Coach Sanchez on one time. Like I said, Mondays when we do the podcast, and he's been unable to come on because they've been having their games on Monday. I think we are scheduled to have one of the assistant coaches and 2 of the varsity players come on. So I'm excited to be able to talk with Coach, kind of recap some of the games, talk about some of the player performance for the 2 guys that are coming on. And then also, as we're getting closer to district, to kind of get Coach's thoughts on where he sees this team as we're winding down the non-district. And now these games start to count here. District is just around the corner. So definitely looking to have those conversations with Coach, and we'll do that here in just a bit. Give me just a second here.
How you doing?
Coach, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm glad
Yes,
to
sir.
have you on. I'm glad to have you on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know you were playing these games, so I was telling everybody, Coach Sanchez hasn't been able to come on. We do the podcast on Monday, but Coach has been having games on Monday, so it's been a little difficult having him on. But once those Monday games are done, we're going to try to get him on every Monday to talk a little bit of Ingleside baseball. So I'm glad to have you on.
I should be good to go because we'll be Tuesday, Friday from here on out, so I should be good to go.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I know sometimes, it can't happen. And so I'm like, but I'm keeping track as I follow you guys. When I'm not able to stream, if I'm doing a Rockport game or a TM game, I've got my two iPads. We're watching the, uh, the game changer on my phone, seeing what goes on. Game changer is really good. It kind of keeps you in the loop of
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, so you can kind of give up some updates. But definitely looking to get out there and stream some of the games as well. We've already been to a couple of games there for the softball. So now we're looking to go across the street there and catch some of your games. And hopefully next
That'd be
year,
good.
yeah, hopefully next year we can build a team with commentators. We've got the equipment finally to be able to stream all the games out there. Now it's just a matter of building the team to be able to go out there and consistently get out there. Because the goal for us is like for baseball is to catch all the games home and away. So it's a work in progress, but we'll eventually get there. Coach, who's the player that we got down here? Is that
We
Mark
have Draiden Garcia.
Drayden? All right.
Drayden's here.
How you doing, Drayden?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for coming out and spending a couple of minutes here with us on the podcast. I always appreciate when the kids, the players come on. I know the community loves it. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to hear me and Coach talk all the time. When you guys come on, we get more viewership. So we're always looking for the players to come on. So thank you for coming on, Coach. I think we have another player and possibly assistant, or is it just Drayden?
No, we're gonna have Coach Pina and then his son
Okay.
Marcus if they can get on hopefully here shortly.
Okay. Sounds good. We are live already, guys. If I didn't say that, because so what we do on the goal here on Monday Mustang podcast is to be able to have coaches. So they're like 30 minutes. We try not to go over 30 minutes because I know coaches have had a long day. So I try to go at least no longer than 30 minutes, sometimes shorter, because sometimes coaches they haven't gotten to dinner, got to want to spend time with family. So I appreciate they come on, but sometimes it does. So we'll go ahead and start here. If Coach and his son come on, we'll go ahead and then start asking them questions. But for Drayden, number 10, Drayden, are you a senior?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. So I do want to mention that Draiden Garcia was recognized as one of South Texas baseball's hitters of the week. So congratulations on that. Coach sent that to me. Definitely want to make that announcement here on the podcast. But for you, kind of introduce yourself a little bit. We've said your name, jersey number, and what position do you play for the Mustangs?
I'm number 6, and I'm the shortstop for him this year.
All right. And do you play any other sports for Ingleside?
Play a little golf for Ingleside too.
Yeah, there you go. Golf. That's something a little different. Let me tell you a little story real quick about my son. So he was a big time baseball and football player. And so I started him off at baseball when he was young. So up until fourth grade, man, he played just baseball. His mother didn't want him to play football, too rough of a sport. But he turned out to be a pretty big kid. So we got him on football. His uncle played football. I said, man, you got to get him on. So once he got on the football field, I don't think he's even yet touched another bat. Like he just loves football. But now that he's graduated, he loves golf. Like he loves golf. Like he's out, I think, on the weekends whenever he can. He said, Dad, I should have been playing golf when I was in school. It's a great sport to play. Not many kids come out and say that. So it's great, man. How much do you love golf? Do you play it a lot outside of school?
I actually do. I try to stick around even through 18. So
Wow. When did you start playing golf? At what age?
Between like that summer, my 8th grade and freshman year started.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk a little bit of golf at some other point. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk. So at what age did you first? Do you remember when you picked up a bat and ball in baseball?
Maybe about 5 or 6, something around there.
Wow. And who introduced you to the game?
My dad.
Dad.
My dad brought me into it.
So I gotta ask: is baseball your favorite sport?
It is. I do. I like it more than I do golf.
Wow. Yeah. It's great, man. Golf is it's just you, right? You
It
got to
is. It's just me.
It's a little different. Okay, so let's talk about the season. Obviously, you're non-district. You're kind of wrapping up the non-district. Tell us, from your perspective, how do you think the team has fared in playing some of these teams in the non-district?
You know, we've struggled a little bit, like in the beginning, because we had to introduce the freshmen on how to do things basically. But through the practices we've had and through Coach Sanchez's help, I feel like we've meshed together pretty well. We play together really good, and through practices, and he calls us into the film room a lot, and we have like what do you call them, character talks basically. Tells us about the game more, tells us like what we need to do and about ourselves, how to carry us. So I feel like after all that, it's helped a lot, and we've been actually doing pretty good in our non-district games and our scrimmages. So I think we've got a pretty good shot for district games.
It's awesome. And that's just kind of rolling around the corner. Do you feel the team is ready to go now with district?
Oh yes, I do. We got Sinton Friday, and I'm pretty positive we can beat them.
Well, you had them last year. I mean,
Yes, sir, we did.
I was watching it. I wasn't there, but I was paying attention to it. And you kind of, people were like, whoa, is this really the score down here?
I know.
I remember thinking that. So it's not out of the ordinary, like you said. Yeah, they're a very good team.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, they've been good for quite some time. But last year, if you play your game, obviously, like you said, you play the game because anybody can be beat, right? It doesn't really matter.
Oh yes, sir.
Talk to us here. Got some young guys, but that doesn't mean you have to play young. So definitely looking forward to the district. What's the expectation? What do you talk to your players about outside of the coaches not being there? When you're there with your players, what do you guys, if you talk, is the expectation for this team? What expectations have you guys set for yourself this year?
We set the bar pretty high because we know we can play at a really high level, and whenever it's just us, we always start it with a prayer before the games, and we say the prayer. We get in a little circle. We talk about positive stuff like we've been coached to do. Catching barrels, keeping everything in front, pitching staff going in, throwing strikes, pitching to contact, catchers keeping everything in front. Uh, that's pretty much it. A lot of positive talk around us, especially in the dugout, cheering the teammates on, picking each other up. So it's helped a lot. It really has. The coaches have helped us a lot too with doing that as well.
Man, that's awesome to hear, because what you're saying is not typically what we hear a lot when we talk about the podcast. Like you're talking about the positive stuff, all that stuff, the mental part there's a mental part to the game. I'm sure you know that because you play the
Oh
game.
yes, sir.
You can be as athletic as you want to be, and that's great and it helps. But that mental part has to be right too, right? You got to be prepared.
Yes, sir.
How do you prepare yourself? What are the conversations that you guys are having? Man, it sounds like I don't know these coaches that well, but it sounds like you got some great leadership in terms of coaches preparing and setting you guys, getting their mind right before you go into a game. Love all of the things that you said there to prepare yourself to be able to play these games. Definitely on the right track. You keep hitting the way you've been hitting now, and that's going to give us a very good chance to win more games than not. So you just keep on staying hot, keep getting
Yes,
some of
sir.
the things Coach sent me, and I think we're going to be okay. I do want to talk to you a little bit, talk a little bit about your coaches. So you got Coach Pina, Coach Cofield, Coach Sanchez. Let's go to your assistants first. Let's go to Coach Pina. Talk to us a little bit about the type of coach that he is. What do you see from him there in practice to prepare you guys? How does he help prepare the team to play the game?
Well, we do a lot of live BP on the field, and Coach Pena is always there behind the tunnel or beside the tunnel, and he's standing there. He's helping us out, like with our swings, telling us what we're doing. I mean, he helps me a ton. He tells me like sometimes I have trouble staying back on my back leg sometimes, and I like to lunge for it, and he tells me, "Hey, sit back a little bit, uh, let the hands go first." And so he does a really good job of that. Uh, he works with the outfield a lot, and you can tell that with him working with the outfield, they have shown a lot better stuff.
That's awesome. How about Coach Cofield?
Coach Caulfield, he's a good guy, very energetic. He brings a lot of energy to the team. He's our first base coach. He's always there at first base. He's a pretty cool dude. I like him. He's he brings a ton of energy. He's real. I guess you could say lively. He he's our energy guy. That's who he is. He's
Yeah, you
pretty
gotta
cool.
have that. Yeah, I heard he was a stud when he was there in Ingleside. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. I
Yeah, I
think he
never.
still might have
Hey,
an arm on him.
he was getting after it in the alumni game, man. Like he was 17 years old still. I tell you.
Yeah, I didn't know him. I know him now because he's married to my cousin, so his family, right? But
Hmm.
I heard they never talk about it. No one's ever really ever mentioned it. I heard it. I think through a coach. Someone told me that what he had done, that he was
I might have
really a good
last
athlete.
on.
Yeah, so it's awesome, and I think it's awesome to have so many coaches on the staff there this year that went to school. I think that says a lot too.
Yeah.
It's to see that there's quite a
Yes, sir.
few there. And then let's talk about the head coach. It starts with Coach Sanchez, right? I mean, these assistant coaches, they do a great job. I think every program has to have good assistants, but the culture, the foundation starts with Coach Sanchez. He's the one that has to set it and everybody else follows. Talk to us a little bit about Coach Sanchez, type of coach that he is, and how has he helped you, and how's he helping the team continue to get better and grow?
Well, I've known Coach Sanchez since my 8th grade year, so this will be my fifth year knowing him. And ever since I can remember, he's always been a pretty cool coach, and I always liked him. He took over my sophomore year, and he set a pretty good he set a pretty good bar for us my sophomore year. Even though we didn't do too good, he kept pushing us, and we made sure to get after it. And then last year, he raised that bar even more because of him raising that bar. That is how we almost beat Sinton last year, both times actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then this year, I mean, he's same guy. He's raising the bar even more. He knows we have it in us, and he's basically the one who he kind of jump started it a lot for me. Besides my parents and my family. During the games, he'd always like on third base, he'd call me over. Hey, fix this, fix that. You're dropping a little bit. So he's always helped me there, and even off the field, he texts me, calls me sometimes asking how I'm doing, stuff like that. He's keeping in touch off the field as well, so which is very nice of him to do. So thank you. And he's 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 just an outstanding guy.
I think that's awesome.
Yes.
I always ask the players, you guys know them. I'm sure sometimes he's got to get on the players. I've seen coaches do that, but I think overall, for the community to be able to hear from the players the type of coaches that we have, what are the coaches building there? How are they helping our kids get that stuff? Really never gets put out. A lot of the work that coaches do is always behind the scenes. Coaches are never going to come up here and pat themselves on the back. They just don't do that. And so to be able to find out what type of coaches they are, we get it from the players, give you guys an opportunity to talk about them. So it seems like you got three great coaches out there that really care about the players, not just baseball players, but they care about the player, the student, and they're there for you guys if you need to talk to them. And I think that's huge to continue to build that program. Coach Sanchez, I'll now ask you to talk about your senior, Draiden against Lyford. You guys won 4-3 before coach talks about you. You went 2 for 3 in that game. You had 1 run and you had a walk. So you were big time there. So coach, I mean, this is why he gets the recognition that he gets. Great offensive player. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your senior. How special is he to the program?
Anytime you bring, just a lot of at bats, a lot of varsity innings, a lot of varsity at bats, and you're able to get that from a shortstop, not only from your shortstop, but from your leadoff hitter, and it's just a steady force there in the leadoff spot and at the shortstop's position. So he's done well. I'm extremely proud of him, and I think I said last time I was on, he's committed to play at Our Lady of the Lake. So I think once he did that, once he signed and stuff, and I told him it's, you get to go relax and play and have fun and play ball and go enjoy your senior year. So I think that's, whatever pressure, whatever he felt like he needed to have, it's, I told him, just go relax, just go have fun. It's a game, go have fun, play ball, and he's done a good job of that, kind of just setting the tone from the leadoff spot, setting the tone from the shortstop position. And, anytime you can get that kind of production from a senior, it's special, between him and Dylan Reed, and I'll get Dylan on here eventually. He's not much of a talker like Draiden, but I'll get on him eventually. Get him on eventually. But he, those are my only seniors. So, anytime and Dylan's been seeing the ball well and putting good swings on it on the ball and catching a lot of barrels. So, anytime you can get that kind of steady production, from your two guys with the most varsity innings, most varsity at bats, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the guys, for the rest of the team.
It does. And Draiden, congratulations on your signing to be able to play at the next level. That's always exciting. That just shows the type of player that you are. And you're right. Go out and have some fun. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Make more memories and hopefully, going down and making those memories, you guys beat Sinton, we go out and beat some of these other teams and make it that much better, something you'll never forget. But I think you guys are off to a great start. I mean, the coaches are great there. The program is great. Obviously, the leadoff guy. I mean, it does start with you. If you can get things rolling, usually it's that person that gets things rolling. Everybody else just kind of follows through. So definitely, yeah, just continue to play. And again, congratulations on the signing. And before
Thank
we
you.
let you go, is there anything you want to add? Any shout outs? I know it's getting a little late. Do you want to have any shout outs to anybody before we let you go?
No, not. I mean, my parents, of course. Thank you for them for always bringing me everywhere and paying for everything. And a lot of my trainers, they've helped hitting and defense have helped me a lot, strength and conditioning.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Hopefully, Coach Sanchez will have you back on a few more times before the season ends. But when we're not streaming, we're definitely looking through Game Changers. So anytime you have a great game, man, we're definitely going to be posting it up here. So take a look at that. We usually post it on our NPND Sports Network, Facebook, and Twitter. So every time you do good, we'll be paying attention. We'll definitely be posting it up there for the community to see. But good luck this season. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Coach, that's a great player right there. I mean, you can just tell, very impressed with his interview that we had. Definitely a leader. You can tell right off the back he's a leader. So who do we have here, Coach? Do we have somebody else on? Can you hear me?
No, I don't think they ever joined. I sent them the.
Yes, sir. I joined.
Somebody's on.
Oh,
here.
you did. You're on, Pina.
Yes, sir.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
there you are. What's up, dude?
Okay.
This is our player, right?
This is our player, and then I'm assuming his dad is Coach Pina. His dad's Coach Pina, so I'm assuming he's right there.
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
There he is. There he is. All right. So we just let Draiden. So it's Marcos Pena, right? So are you a junior?
No, sir.
All right. So we won't call you junior. I just wanted to see that. So now I know
He's
so Marcos, thank you for coming on. We just had Draiden and we just let him go. So I'll go to you first before I go because I know it's getting kind of late and you guys got to go. But thank you for coming on, first of all. We always like it when the guys come on. Coach and I talk. People is, oh man, it's good. When the players come on, our viewership goes kind of up, man. So it's good. So we're always wanting to get the players to come on and talk a little bit about the program and stuff. But let's introduce you. So I said your name. What's your jersey number and what position do you play for Ingleside?
Number 10, and I play pitcher, third, and a little bit of outfield.
All right. So are you a senior?
No, sir.
Junior?
No, sir.
Wow. Sophomore.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're what I would call the future, right? You're going to be around for quite some time. All right. So let's get into the season. Non-district. It's kind of wrapping up. I want to get your thoughts on how you think your team has performed through the non-district.
My team has performed really good. Their hits are good. Our pitching is good. And we just need to work on some stuff.
It's you got a lot of underclassmen, but that doesn't mean anything. I think it's good. I think district is coming around the corner. I mean, this district has been tough. I've been following it for the last 2-3 years. There's not this year a team that I think you can kind of say they can win. I think everyone's really good. Beevil's been pretty good the last couple of years. You guys, Rockport, Fulton, Calhoun, I've seen them play. They've been pretty good. So these programs, if they've slid down, it hasn't been very much, right? So I think it's going to be competitive again this year. Definitely looking forward to the district. It's just around the corner. I do want to ask you about last year. Not sure if you were on varsity last year or not, but this team almost beat Sinton last year, which tells me a lot. I was watching it. I think a lot of people were surprised. Is this the right score? That's what people were telling me. I said, man, this is what's being posted up there for those who weren't in the game. So you guys played really good. They're coming up now here real soon in district. What do you think you guys need to do this year to beat that team? Did he freeze up a little bit?
Go ahead, little Pina.
I think he froze up a little bit, Coach. Okay. Did you hear the question, Marcus?
Marcus,
Yeah.
did you hear the question?
You were kind of lagging
Okay.
out for me.
Okay, so if you can hear me, I'll repeat it. So last year, you guys played Sinton, and you had the lead. This year, what do you think you guys need to do to beat Sinton?
It lagged out a little bit.
Hey, come here.
I lagged out.
Come here. Let me get him on this one.
That's fine. That's fine. Sometimes that happens.
Come here. Here. Right there. There you go. There you go.
So I wanted to ask you, last year, you guys really played Sinton tough. They're coming up now in district. What do you feel your team needs to do, the Mustangs, to get that win over Sinton?
We just need to believe in ourselves and have a good. We need to hit, and all of us need the most confidence we have. We need to give it our all.
Absolutely. And just have fun, right? Like I think sometimes you put pressure, just go out there and have fun, play your game. I mean, you guys are practicing, you got some great coaches out there. You go out there. I think I found that when you have fun, you play better. You don't play tight, they're just another team like anybody else, right? And like I said last year, you can play with them. That's the thing. You can play with them. Now you got to put 7 good innings, play your game, let the chips fall where they may. District starts up here real soon. Coach, when is that? Is that next week? Is that on a Tuesday or Friday?
We play Sinton this Friday.
Friday. At home?
At home, yes, sir.
At home. So definitely we invite all of the fans to come out Friday.
Yes, sir.
The softball team plays on Saturday, so there is no softball game here. The girls are playing on Saturday, so you can definitely come on out and support our Mustang baseball team. It's our first district game of the 2025 season. Definitely love to have everybody out there. It's a big, big game. The fans could make a difference, so when you're loud, we get that home field advantage. Definitely come on out and support our Mustangs as we try to get the win over Sinton. First district game is going to be good. Marcos, so now, do you play any other sports outside of baseball for Ingleside?
Yes, sir.
What other sports do you play?
I play football.
Football. Wow, that's awesome. So when you, as a pitcher, right, and you're one of the younger pitchers as far as classification, do you look towards the older pitchers to get some advice from them? Like, how do they help you with your game when you're up there, when your number's called to pitch?
We don't have any older pitchers.
Is there like any juniors? Is he the oldest one?
Well, I've thrown for the most part. I mean, and Coach, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'd say 90-something%. We've thrown something like 5 sophomores and freshmen. Yeah, we have a lot of youth in our pitching staff. So. I didn't mean to cut y'all off, but No.
I'm glad you told me, Coach. I thought there was
our staff is they're for the most part sophomores. That get up there and just they compete, they throw strikes, and they understand our philosophy and our approach that we're, right now, being underclassmen, we don't have the luxury of the guys that throw 90+ miles an hour. But they understand, and we've proven it this year, that we can be successful in spite of that. They get up there, they throw strikes, they throw multiple pitches for strikes in any counts. They compete, and their defense makes plays behind them, and we got a chance to be successful. So, So you got some young arms, but they definitely keep us in games and give us a chance.
Well, Marcos, I'll say this: I didn't know because, like I said, I follow you guys on Game Changers. So this young pitching staff has done really good in the non-district. I didn't know that they were all that young. Like I said, I follow, I read the recaps, I look at the box scores. You guys are doing really well for being such underclassmen. So keep that up. So then let's rephrase this question. With all your other pitchers, what do you guys talk about to be able to pump each other up? So pretty much, these guys, y'all pretty much in the same classification, right? What do y'all do to help each other when your number's called to prepare to pitch that game?
We just tell them to throw strikes and let us defense back us. Let the defense back you up, and we stay positive up there.
Well, yeah, put the ball in play, right? Like if you walk them and put, just like Coach said, get it in there. You got the defense behind you, throw the strikes, and then let's go. But I got to tell you, Coach, I didn't know that your pitchers were that young because I've been watching. I thought you had some juniors or seniors just by what I had seen. But you guys are really, really doing well. You're excelling. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. You guys are doing a good job. And I think the exciting part is we're going to be around for quite some time, Coach. We're going to continue to grow and get better. So that's awesome. Listen, Marcos, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I know it's getting kind of late, but I do want to ask you a little bit about the coaches. To talk a little bit about what they mean to you. But first of all, your dad. So you have something that a lot of other kids don't have. Dad actually gets to coach you. So what's that like to have dad coaching for you?
Careful.
Feels good.
It's what?
It feels good. And he gets to coach me. And I like it. He gives me confidence and tells me to just go up there and throw and go up there and swing a bat.
Just have fun and play the game. For you, though, that could be the other thing. When the game doesn't go as good, right? And then you get to leave the field house, the game, you get to go home, you're probably going to continue to hear more because you got to live there with dad. So you get to hear a little bit of more of that talk, right? Than some of the other players. So there's probably some good or some of that I've heard because I've talked to other players that say, man, my dad, I hear it all. The other teams don't. We get home and for that ride home, I'm still hearing it. So there's some of that. But overall, I think we're in a good position now. Me, knowing how young in classification the pitchers are really excites me to see where we're going to be at. Let's talk about the other two coaches. Coach Cofield, I think, is the pitching coach, right? What has he been like and how has he helped you as far as the pitching goes? I think it might have froze up on them as well, Coach. So we'll come back to you. So, Coach, talk a little bit about Marcos, younger guy, putting him up there. Talk to us a little bit about how special is he this year for this program? Still got a lot of growing to do.
He does. You're right. He's got a high upside, and we're between myself and Coach Caulfield and Coach Pina, we're having to ask a lot of these guys to grow up faster than maybe they anticipated, and letting them understand that we're going to hold them accountable, but we want to make sure that they know we believe in them. So little Marcus, he's done a good job, of just getting up there and just believing and understanding again what our approach is, what our philosophy is, and throwing strikes when he's got his secondary and his third pitch working for strikes. Man, he's tough. He really is. Despite the fact that maybe he doesn't throw as hard right now, but just getting up there, eating and getting after it. He's done well. I'm proud of him. He's made South Texas baseball's pitchers of the week list twice already. He's made twice in this season. So, he's done well. He's done well, and he's still got a high upside, like I said. So we're excited for the rest of this year, and then just for the future. Not just him, but the rest of them too.
Absolutely. And for the Mustang fans that are watching, number 10, Marcos Pina was one of South Texas baseball's pitchers of the week. So Marcos, congratulations. That's why I thought you were a little older. But man, that's awesome. You're off to a great start, man. Continue to grow, continue to work hard. And I'm definitely hoping I'll be around to be able to see your growth and see what your rest of this year, your junior and senior year are gonna look like, man. Because I think you're off to a great start. Continue to pitch that way, the way you're pitching, getting these recognitions, and we're going to win more games than not. I do want to ask you about your pitching coach, Coach Coppell. How has he helped you? What are some of the things that he's doing to help you continue to grow as far as pitching?
He's making me have the confidence to throw up there. He believes in me that a 3-2 pitch that I can get it in there for a strike, for a curveball, and he's just overall a good coach, good pitching coach.
Yeah, I tell you, I think you got some great coaches overall. That's really going to help this team grow, continue to get better every game, every practice. That everything starts out there with your head coach. He's got to build that culture out there, the foundation. Everybody else follows, right? It starts with him, his vision. Assistant coaches then make it happen, and then the players follow. Talk to us a little bit about your head coach there, Coach Sanchez. You know, for the people that don't know him, what type of head coach, what type of coach is he, and how has he helped you this year?
He's been helping me by like yelling at me, making me more of a like, okay, I got this kind of type of guy, and like I could help him out.
You guys are doing great, man. I tell you, and you know the coaches are going to be hard on you. They got to, especially coaches that see talent. I mean, obviously you have a skill and you have talent, and you still got some growing to do, right? So they're going to push you, man. They're going to push you because they think they know that you can be better, and the only way that happens is to put you to continue to push you, right? They don't want you to get lax. They want you to keep pushing. So sometimes when that voice gets a little loud, it's all about love, and it's just about they see the potential that you have, the growth that you have a potential you can reach. Their job is to get you there. That's both assistant coaches and the head coach. So I think you're doing great, man. I'm looking forward to going out there, seeing some of your games. We're definitely going to stream some of those. I don't know if we'll get out there this week, but if not next week for sure. Maybe we can get out there Friday and do the sitting game. I'll see, because I know Saturday we're going to be out there. So I'll definitely check it out. But we're definitely going to go out there and put you guys out there on our stream. You can catch those games on the MPND Sports Network. But Marcos, thank you very much for coming out, spending some time with us here. Hopefully, Coach will invite you back. And like I said, keep you looking, because every time you have a great performing, whether it's pitching, hitting, or fielding, we're definitely going to put those stats up here on our network. So definitely check them out when you get an opportunity. I want to give you a chance to any shout outs, any final words you might have before we let you go.
My coaches, all of them.
Your mom.
For pushing.
Shout out, mom.
Yeah, my mom too.
There you go.
Mom and dad. Can never go wrong with mom. If you say coach, if you say everyone, everyone's included, so they can't get mad, okay? Because now you'll probably leave somebody out. But definitely, mom and dad obviously have done a great job with you. You know, a lot of the things when you see young or great high school players who do great, it's always a credit to mom and dad, because it always starts there. What coaches see, the way you represent yourself in your school, the things you do in the classroom, the leadership skills you have, it started because mom and dad instilled that in you. Obviously, you have a great mom and dad there who supports you. That support system is important. So thank you very much for coming out, Marcos, and we'll talk to you
Yes,
soon.
sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Coach, I want to get your thoughts, Coach Sanchez, on some of the overall, like I asked the kids, what did you see from your team as the non-district starts to wind down? When you look back, obviously you had a vision. You want to see your team do certain things. Have you seen that from them? And just kind of let us know how they played. You want them and you've lost them, but overall, how has this team performed in the non-district?
You know, I've seen a lot of growth. You know, I've seen a lot of growth. You know, and just taking it as, you know, putting these young men in some positions that's going to make them, you know, putting them in some situations that's going to make them uncomfortable, help them grow. You know, just a lot of growth, especially like I've said, you know, and not to beat a dead horse, just from all the youth we have, you know, just seeing them competing, seeing them playing for one another, seeing them get out there and have fun, you know, and we understand, you know, my message to them has been really, you know, baseball's really kind of like life. It's really 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you respond. So, just kind of seeing how they've responded in some adverse situations, I've been real pleased with it. And I really think, that putting them in those situations is going to benefit us come district and just going forward. We understand we've been in some tight games. We've won some tight games, lost some tight games, understanding the mistakes that, the games we lost, understanding those, being able to fix those, being able to correct those, and the best thing, is these kids are really, really good kids. They're really coachable. They understand, between myself, between Coach Caulfield, between Coach Pina, we can't coach them hard unless they know that we care about them, and they know we care about them. So if we got to hold them accountable, and it has to be sternly sometimes, they know it's coming from a place of love. So, just going forward, I'm excited, because I think, like I said the last time, we're in a 5-team district, and everybody's saying the same thing. The other 4 teams are saying we just have to beat Ingleside. I guarantee you that's what they're saying. So that's been our message to the kids, to these young men. We got to outwork people. Use that. You have nothing to lose. Use that as a chip on your shoulder. Outwork people. We don't, we outwork them in practice. We don't beat them, Friday. We beat them Monday through Thursday, and then Friday takes care of itself. So, just kind of with that message going forward, sorry, I'm rambling, but, I'm excited.
No, coach, I think that's right. I mean, that's exactly, you got to outwork them. I mean, look, the teams, I've seen enough that you can win. That's why you play the game. So whatever's being, like you said, that's what's being said. Use that as motivation, right? That that's a dangerous team when you use that as motivation. When you hear that talk, and those players see it, doesn't matter the age, don't matter how much experience. You go out there, you outwork them, you give yourself a chance to win. And like you were saying, put the ball in play, pitch, let them hit it, let the infield do their job, keep us in the game. And then you never know what can happen. So I'm definitely looking forward to the season. As district starts here on Friday, it'll be at home against Sinton. Definitely invite everyone to come on out. Coach, what time is that game? At 7, I think I read.
7 o'clock. Yeah, we finish up non-district tomorrow at home against Odom at 6, and then we'll start district Friday at 7 o'clock at home against Sinton.
Definitely come on out. And then on the bottom screen, we have one of our assistant baseball coaches, Coach Marcus Pena. Coach, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, Coach. So the question I have for you is, how long have you been coaching, not just baseball, but how long have you been coaching?
31 years.
31 years. Wow,
Yes, sir.
So that comes Coach Sanchez with a lot of experience in so many areas. Coach, how many of those have been there in Ingleside?
9 total.
And for baseball?
For baseball, this is, year 5 or 6, I think. But I was a head softball coach before. So, yeah, early in my career, I really wanted to be a baseball coach, but other things came up and stuff. And like I said, I'm really excited to be back on the baseball side of things and enjoying it again.
Absolutely. And we're happy to have you here. I've gotten to know Coach Chrisman, obviously, a lot of these coaches, just some coaches I haven't talked to, but what I've seen in talking with the volleyball coach, basketball coaches, football coaches, what I've seen, we got some great coaches.
Yes, sir.
And I think they're coaches that care about these kids, and the kids have fun. I mean, I did the soccer podcast with Coach Lynch and Coach Williams, and those boys are just having some fun. The girls a lot of laughing. I think that gets sometimes, we get so caught up in the playing of the game that, when I see these kids laughing out there having a great time. Obviously, you play to win. I did, but it's nice to see them enjoying themselves, making memories, and that goes to the culture that's being built there in Ingleside and the coaches that we have. So, thank you for both of you for the job that you guys do. Taking care of the kids, and like the Draiden was saying, man, coaches call me to check up on me. I think that's huge, and I definitely like to hear that. Coach, I want to kind of get your thoughts on the recap against Coach Pina here against Lyford. We got that win 4-3. Drayden had a good game. We said 2 for 3, 1 run, 1 walk. On the mound, you had Marcus. Is that Barone or Barron, coach?
Barone.
Barone. Marcus Barone, 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts. But it was number 10, Marcus Pina, I think, that got your son, that got the save. He came in, 1 inning pitched, gave up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Coach Pina, talk about the game, just overall, the way you saw it, and just your son being able to come in a close game and get the save for the Mustangs.
Like I said, they're all young, of course, and they really have confidence in each other. You know, they've been playing baseball together for a long time, and watching those two, we call them M Square, and it's really nice that they both, kind of help each other out and go in there, and they have confidence in each other. I think the team has confidence, and I know as coaches we do, so it really helps out, that they can go in there, help each other out, and finish games like this. I think that's going to be big for us throughout the district.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to grow. I mean, they're already growing, right? So that's what you want to see, continue to grow. Go out there and have some fun. Put the ball in play, throw those strikes, and let's see what happens, right? You don't want to give them those walks. Those walks are like freebies, man, and they really hurt you. So
yeah, they're
make
bad.
them hit the ball. Yeah, throw the strikes, make them hit them, and let's see where everything falls. So that was a great win. We went 2-0 that week, and then Coach Sanchez, I'll go to you for the next game. You go out and you play Rivera, get that big win, 11-5. Number 12, Remington Bullard, 3 for 4, 1 run, 2 RBIs. The Mustangs in that game had 14 total hits in the game. On the mound, Marcus Pena pitching a little over 5 innings pitched, gives up 6 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks, but he had 9 strikeouts. Talk about his performance on the mound, but the overall performance of the team.
No, yeah, like I said, anytime Marcus goes out there and throws strikes, we got a chance. So I was proud of him. He got up there and competed. And he pitched around some traffic on the bases, some high stress innings. He was able to kind of pitch his way out of it, which is a good sign. It's a sign of a ball player that's maturing, a sign of a pitcher that's maturing, really staying calm in those situations. But I was proud of our that first time through the lineup. Rivera, and credit to Rivera, Coach Amaya and Coach Goss, they do a good job. They're a scrappy bunch, and they're going to have a really good chance to win their district. So, they threw a guy, that kind of went out and pitched with our philosophy. He was throwing strikes. He was flipping his curveball over for a strike, and kind of had us off balance that first time through the lineup. So I was really proud of our guys for kind of making adjustments and understanding, what they needed to do at the plate that second time through the lineup. And anytime you can bang out 14 hits in a game, it's a good thing. Anytime you can, and Remy was, he was seeing the ball well. He hit one, his second at bat, I believe, that I thought was getting out. I think he had 2 RBIs. He had 2 or 3 RBIs. I took one away from him. I got one of our guys thrown out at the plate. I sent him. I probably should have held him, but you take your chances. But yeah, Remy was seeing the ball really, really well that night. I was proud of him. So, and between it was him, Lance Van Meter, and Clancy Morling, who are I know Lance and Clancy are 8 and 9 hole hitters. So between Remy, Lance, and Clancy, those 3 guys went 7 for 10 with 4 RBIs, I believe. So I was, and 2 sophomores and 1 freshman. So I was proud of their production. And again, Remy, that mullet was rocking around the bases all night long. So he had a good night. I was proud of him.
That was good. And so again, the Mustangs go 2-0, winning both games. And now, as you heard Coach say, Sinton will come in on Friday, and that'll be the first district game. That's at 7 p.m. They're at home. The next 2 games are at home there in Ingleside, and then the other one is tomorrow, another non-district game. Odom will be coming into town. That'll be a non-district game, so we invite all of the Mustangs to come on down and support our baseball program. Coach Pena, I want to ask you to kind of preview the game against Odom, but before I do that, I want to ask you, I asked your son what it was like to have you down there. Most coaches I talk to don't get the opportunity, dads, I should say. Once they get into junior high, that's it. They love the moments when they get to coach their son on youth. I was able to do that for my son. And now when he went to high school, now I'm waiting for grandkids so I can continue to do that because I missed that so much. But for you, you get to continue that. You get to see and be part. I think not only to coach him, but you get to spend time with him. Most dads go to work. You're different. You get to see him there. I think that's great for a relationship between dad and son. But what's it been like for you to be able to be there when he does things like this, to be able to get a save, have a good performance on the mound, and you're right there to be the first one to say, "Hey, congratulations, give him a hug." What's it been like for you to be able to have that opportunity as a coach to be able to coach your son and see his growth?
Oh, it's been great. It's something I never thought I'd experience, stuff when you're going through the years and stuff, but it's been really great. We've kind of gotten closer doing that, because in football, he doesn't play any of the positions I coach. So in baseball, it's kind of nice to coach him and get to talk a lot. We have these long trips home and stuff like that, and we get to visit a lot. And I think it's really helped our relationship, as a father and son, where I think he's getting more trust in me to talk to me, and like I say, a lot of parents don't get to do that. And I'm really blessed that I get to do that, and with his teammates, so it's a blessing.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's awesome. I think when dad can do that and see his son grow, and you're right, the relationship between father and son, even though it's coach and player, it's also father and son. That bond starts to grow, and that's awesome to see. Coach, I want to get your thoughts on the upcoming game tomorrow against Odom. That's a non-district game. It's the last one. What do you want to see from the Mustangs before they start district in this game against Odom?
I want to go out. I want our players to go out and just have a good game. And the biggest thing we keep telling them over and over is relax, have fun, play the game, don't tense up. Hey, baseball is a game of failure. Whether it's hitting, fielding, pitching. Heck, where else can you get 30% and you're a great hitter? So they've got to learn just to have fun and to improve and just to get better every day. Every time they go up to the plate, every time a pitch is thrown, that they're ready and prepared. That way it gets us ready for Friday night against Sinton.
Every game that you play is another opportunity to go out there and show out, right? And you continue to play. And
Absolutely.
I think I like what Coach Sanchez said, which is just got to outwork them. That's got to be the
Yep.
mentality. We got to outwork them because if you don't, probably not going to win the game. So that's a key part of going out there. Have fun, but we're going to outwork everybody, and then we'll let the chips fall
Absolutely.
where they may. That's great. Something I'm going to remember. I hadn't thought about that till I heard it today from Coach Sanchez. And then, Coach, I'll ask you the first district game coming up Friday here against Sinton last year. You were part of that. You had them. I mean, we've had them. So as a coach that if this team does what they're supposed to, you can win that game. You're in it. What are you expecting from the Mustangs on Friday against Sinton?
And the thing about that is, and it's not just, it's in all sports, but, baseball especially. Sinton has a lot of, they're a prestigious program, statewide, a lot of preseason accolades, the rankings, and for good reason. For good reason. Coach Alanis and his staff do a great job, but, just understanding. I think we, knock on wood, usually we play Sinton well. And I think our boys just understand, like, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. You're going out and you're getting to play the game that you love, and you're getting to go prove something against a program that's just so tradition rich, but you see that year in, year out. That's why I wanted to play the Toloso Midways this year. That's why we scheduled London, because you see, the tradition rich and how they go about their business. And that's where you want to get. That's where every program and every team strives to be. So, Friday we're going to go out, we're going to compete, like I said, we're going to work our butts off Wednesday. We're going to work our butts off Thursday. And then Friday, it's no longer ours. It's the players. Go, practices are ours. The game is y'all's. Just once we leave the field Thursday, we understand we're as prepared as we can be, and you go do your very best, and that's all you can ask. That's all we can ask. They're gonna go compete their tails off like they always do Friday, and we see what happens.
Let the chips fall where they may, Coach. Absolutely. And again, for the Mustang fans, district starts on Friday. So we definitely, the next two games are at home. Starts tomorrow. Definitely come on out. as we'll take on Oldham, and then on Friday it'll be another home game. District starts, so we want definitely everyone out there for Friday. There is no softball Friday game; they play on Saturday, so definitely come on out and support our baseball program as Sydney comes into town to take on your Mustang. Coach Sanchez, Coach Pina, thank you very much for coming out. Really
If
appreciate
I
your
can
time.
add something, I'll add something. Last Friday, we played at Rivera, and Coach Pina, I'm going to bring it up anyway, Coach. So, Coach Pina, I don't know if you know, he was a part of the 1985 and 1986 state championship baseball teams in Rivera. So,
Really?
being able to watch his son get a victory on the mound, at his old field where obviously Coach Pina, they won a lot of games, back-to-back state titles. It was a very, very special moment. And, I ended up getting a picture. They have a billboard out in left field of back-to-back 85, 86 state champs. So I was able to get a picture of the Pina boys, by that billboard. So I just wanted to make sure I included that. It was a pretty special moment, on Coach Pina's old field to watch his son compete on that.
Coach, thank you, Sanchez. Because Coach Pina will never come out. The podcast,
No, sir.
the coaches,
No, sir.
yeah, the coaches come out. It's about the kids, so they're never going to mention this. So I'm glad that somebody else does because I would have never known. Coach, now that I know that, going back at what you've done, talk to us a little bit. What was it? What was that moment like for you, your son, being able to go back there where, you're the best team in that time. You guys want to say, what was it like to go back there? Relive that field and know what you did, but now your son's coming up and he's pitching on that. Now, what was that like for you?
Well, it brought out real good memories back. Took me many years back, and then just watching him be on the mound and stuff, and just be able to play there. It was amazing. It was surreal. Just every time I look out there, I said, "Man, this is nice. This is this is what baseball is. With dads with their sons. Even softball. The moms with their daughters and whatever. But it's a blessing. And like I told Coach Sanchez all the time, I said, one day it's going to be him coaching his son or his daughter. And, it's surreal. It's awesome.
It was awesome to be able to go back there. And Coach Sanchez, thanks for telling me. If Coach Sanchez doesn't say nothing, I don't know nothing, right? So I'm glad. And I know the coaches they're never going to come up here and pat themselves. But man, I'm glad that he said something because you guys do such a great job, especially when you're able to do that and play at the highest level and win at the highest level. And then to be able to go back to the field where you were able to do and have a lot of success. And now see your son going in there on that field and pitching, even though it's not for Rivera, it's for Ingleside, but still being there on that field.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely got to be a special moment for you and your son. So thank you for sharing that, Coach Sanchez. Greatly appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And, now, again, I'll give you guys the final word. Coach Pina, I'll go to you first. Anything you want to add before we let you go?
Oh, we're going to outwork people, and we're going to keep working hard like Coach Sanchez says. And like I said, we're going to tell the kids every day we love them. We want them to work hard, but most importantly, have fun playing baseball.
Absolutely. That is the most important thing. That's the one thing you can't forget. You play free, have fun, good things happen. Coach Sanchez, I'll give you the final word. Anything you want to add?
No, we're ready to go. Tomorrow, and we're just getting better, one pitch at a time, one inning at a time, one at bat at a time. So, we're excited. We're excited to hopefully play spoiler and hopefully prove some people wrong.
Absolutely. And best of luck to you tomorrow. And then on Friday, I'll let you know if we can make it out there on Friday. Don't have anything scheduled yet. I got to look at the calendar, but maybe we get out there. I'll definitely text you on Thursday to let you know where we're going to be at. But we're definitely going to go out there and get some of those district games. And then Coach Sanchez is scheduled for next Monday. Hopefully, if he's available, he's scheduled to come back on at 8:30. So definitely tune into that. And you never know, you might have another player or you might have another assistant coach. You got to tune in to find out. Coach Pina, Coach Sanchez, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck this week, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.